A very good afternoon from the Tamandaya Hockey Stadium. It is match 11 of the 11th edition of the Sultan of Johor Cup, and it is South Africa versus Australia, the last game in Pool A, a game that Australia now must win by more than 3 goals if they want to finish top of Pool A. They are confirmed now as a semi-finalist because Germany defeated Great Britain. South Africa standing in their way, and we caught up with their coach, Guy Elliott, earlier this morning. Well, Guy, so close to recording a victory yesterday against Great Britain. Disappointed with the outcome in the end?
Yeah, I thought we were a little bit off on some of the finer details of our game. But to be honest, it was probably a little bit expected. If you look at the changes we've made in our team, and also probably the preparation coming in. So yeah, I'm happy with our progress that we're making, but possibly missed an opportunity there.
Yeah, you've got a few players that were here last year, couldn't make it because of various things like exams. I mean, who'd give up hockey for exams?
Yeah, unfortunately, some of them, the universities, are not so kind to let them go. And some other guys were unavailable. I know the AFCON's happening, so we've probably our best players there. He makes a big difference in our team. But having said that, I think it's an opportunity for other guys to come in. So one of the things I'm trying to do is create a little bit more of a base of players so that we can create some depth. And in particular, one of my roles in the under-21 job is to actually create a pathway to the national team. So we can't use that as an excuse with the way international hockey is being played nowadays. And because our players in South Africa play in Europe, as well as South Africa, we can't always select the best 18, so we have to grow that base so that when we are playing various tournaments that the players are at the correct standard to be able to represent their country. And I think this is one of the pathways to do that. So on the first hand, it's brilliant that these guys now start getting exposed. They have the talent, they just need to play at this level more often. And also on the other hand, you know, with the World Cup in a month, we haven't solidified our squad. So there are a couple of places up for grabs, and it's good to create some competition in there.
Absolutely. Well, today you've got to get Australia you're up against, and I mean that could be a game that determines who goes through to the semi-final or who finishes top of the pool.
Yeah, well, I think if we're honest with ourselves, in reality, I think the Australians are just at another level at the moment. I saw last night in their game against Germany, that game was, the intensity of that game was exceptional. So we know we're up for a challenge, but as usual, you know, South Africa, Australia, our guys will find a way, you know, to make sure that we give ourselves the best possible opportunity to compete there. But the Australians are looking really good, physically dominant. You know, they have some exceptional technical skill and ability and awareness in the game. And not only that, you know, in South Africa, we see they've got a little bit of dog in them. You know, when times get tough, you know, they get stuck in. So it's going to be a good contest.
It will indeed, and I mean a compliment to you. The coaches are saying to us that South Africa is not an easy team to beat anymore. They are now a very competitive side, so that's a compliment to you.
Yeah, well, I think one of the things we wanted to, you know, make sure is that every game is competitive. You know, whether that's through sort of our energy, motivation. If we understand that the opposition are technically a little bit better than us and maybe further along in the process than us. But we really pride ourselves on trying to just be organised and structured and give ourselves the best possible opportunity to compete. And I think the junior ranks in South Africa, we've got some exceptionally talented players. It's how we harness that. And like I said to our guys, you know, we come here and perhaps we have the ability and the potential, but you've still got to learn how to win, and you've got to play at this level for an extended period of time. It can't just be in fits and spurts. Year in, year out, we have to play this. And then I think if we can do that over a long period of time, if we're looking at a bigger picture, then hopefully we close that gap and then we can move forward and that it's not just clicking your fingers and overnight it happens.
Well, Guy, congratulations and thanks again for your time.
Thanks very much, I appreciate it.
Well, that was the coach of South Africa, Guy Elliott, who, as he said there, they've had to crowdfund to get here. He's doing great work, in my opinion, in developing the next generation of player in South Africa in really difficult circumstances. But they have improved over time, and they just need more games, and they need a little bit of financial support. Well, we'll now take a look at the team lineup for South Africa today and the players that I think you need to look out for. To me, defence is going to be the key for them. And Gianluca Verissimo has been one of the outstanding goalkeepers in the tournament so far. James Flint has been a rock at the back, and alongside him, Nathan Ansell and also Fawaz Carter are going to be crucial today if they can keep Australia at bay. Jamie Seal in the midfield has been good alongside Damien Knott, and also so too has been Hans Neertling. And they're going to have to try and really wrestle control in the middle of the field for South Africa to prevent Australia creating opportunities. Turning our attention to Australia, and there's some news just in. They're going to be a player down as Brodie Foster, wearing the number 24 shirt, has been suspended for this game following what we believe is the altercation that happened at the end of the game against Germany. So Foster is sitting out this game, which means they will only have 17 players available. Players I think that are going to be crucial today are Craig Murray and Cooper Burns. Those two have a lot of history together. Murray has really led from the front. Dermot Chappell scored in their opening game and again has looked lively. So too has Lachlan Rogers. But Liam Henderson, to me, has been the star in the midfield, and he could be the key player on which the game depends. He can start things off for them and create and feed it to the various flanks to unlock the defence of South Africa. I mentioned the goalkeeper for South Africa. Also going to mention Max Larkin, because again, he had an outstanding game against Germany and really stepped up and showed that he, again, is totally worthy of his position in this side. Our umpires for this game are Fahad Ali Khan from Pakistan and Ole Ingversen from Germany. I'm Ashley Morrison, looking forward to sharing all of the action with you from this game. And just a reminder, as we look now at the way the table stands in Pool A, this is the situation at the moment. So Germany are top with 7 points. Australia is second with 4 points. If they win by more than 3 goals, they will go on to 7 points and jump ahead of Germany and finish top of the pool. Obviously, Great Britain and South Africa cannot make the semi-finals. They will be playing off for 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th positions. But Australia, the question is, will they want to win the pool or will they just want to win the game? And this is a preparation, as we heard from Guy Elliott, for the World Cup. And I'm sure Australia will be looking at just getting the win, playing well, executing the skills that the coaching staff have taught them. And whether they finish top of the pool, that would be nice, but it's secondary. They will still, hopefully, in their opinion, go through from the pool stage unbeaten. And that is the main thing. Well, players now getting ready along the side of the pitch to come on. The umpires just lining up, and again, yes, we're having the obligatory photograph before every game. And this time standing either side of the trophy, a trophy that neither of the umpires unfortunately will get their hands on because it goes to the winning team. I'm pleased to say the rain, which started bucketing down at the end of the last game, has stopped now, and it is a clear sky again. We've got a little bit of blue. Obviously, the evening is fast approaching here in Johor Bahru. It's been a fantastic tournament so far, and we had a fantastic game earlier between Great Britain and Germany in their final pool games. And now I'm expecting an equally good one as South Africa take on Australia. There's always a rivalry between these two, whatever sport they play. And so they will expect to, again, make it a really good game. Photographs taken with the umpires for both captains once again, exchanging the pennants down below. And now we've had all the photographs taken. Hopefully the umpires can lead the players out onto the turf. And the procession starts. Both sets of players, their shirts absolutely sopping, having warmed up in the rain. Sometimes, though, in temperatures like this, it's quite nice to just have a little bit of a cooling effect of a wet shirt against your body. They will line up across the center of the pitch. Has become traditional now. And then we will break for the national anthems. And as you might have seen, the ball just rolled out there because the umpires forgot to pick it up. Anyway, we've got a ball in the middle, we've got the players in the middle, and we will now have the national anthem of South Africa. Nkosi Sikelel' Afrika. One of the rousings national anthems around the world, and now it's Advance Australia Fair, the national anthem of Australia. The national anthem's finished. It's now just time to toss the coin. Ole Ingvarsen indicates that I think Australia have won the toss. And the Australian players are going to go through. Liam Ansell, I think, was all ready to go on the march to slap hands with the Aussies. So Australia will start on our right-hand side. South Africa in the side that they find themselves standing for the national anthem. Despite huge sporting rivalry between these two countries, they've never played each other that much, to be honest, when it comes to junior hockey. Just the one meeting here, of course, in the Sultan of Johor Cup, because South Africa made their debut appearance in 2022, and Australia won that game 6-1. Now, if they win by 6 goals today to 1, they will go top of their pool and will play the second place team in Pool B. We don't know who that is yet, because Pakistan and India are both through to their semi-finals, but Pakistan play Malaysia in the game after this, and it would depend on the result there and the amount of goals they score in their game to determine whether they finish top of the pool ahead of India. So there's plenty to play for on the final day of the pool games here in Johor Bahru. And we've already seen one absolute thriller. And a nice little handshake going on down there. I've not seen that before from Will Matheson and Cooper Burns. So it will be South Africa, though, to get the game underway. Umpire just checked the goal behind Max Larkin. So again, we wait for the officials to give us the nod that we can get things underway. Fingers raised, the whistle goes. South Africa push back. Flint throws it to the air straight away. Realising it had gone over his head. That was good awareness by Le Forestier. Played infield that time by Angus Adamson. Henderson, who to mine was really on fire in that first quarter against Germany. He was the man that did a lot of the damage. Good pass forward, sliding in, but Cooper Burns breaks away. Cooper Burns into the circle, looking for a foot. Didn't manage to find it. Good defence, South Africa. And that's good play again by Dan Nieuwhof. So South Africa, we've seen over the last 2 years here how they have grown in confidence, grown in belief, grown in stature as a team. And you just feel it's in world hockey's interest they get more games, because it would be brilliant to have a team from the African nations or the African continent that is challenging the top teams, as Thabang Jay made a run forward, but he just misplaced his pass to Hans Neertling. Kenya were, of course, a force a long time ago. And South Africa growing the game now, but it would be brilliant to see them rise among the ranks so that there's a strong team in Africa on the world stage. Craig Murray. Laid back that time by Lachlan Rogers. Cam Geddes to Adamson. Geddes again. Good pass into the midfield again, and played out wide that time by Craig Murray. Good ball down the flank, smashed in towards the circle that time from Liam Henderson, but radar was a little bit off. Flint again throws it long. Le Forestier is under it. Taylor retreats. Le Forestier will take him on. Coming back, it's still Le Forestier. He's got the better as well of Henderson. Came right across the pitch. And Thabang Jay just slipping that time. Liam Ansell plays it out to Carter. Ends up back with Ansell again via Knott. Nieuwhof again to Ansell again. He throws it into the air this time. That's an Australian ball brought down. Adamson. And Adamson shielding the ball. Thabang Jay tries to get on. Run around the back from South Africa. Into the circle it goes. It's cleared. It's a good run by, again, Hans Neertling. Trying to find a way in. He tried to get the ball across the circle, but nobody was in that space for South Africa. Here's Neertling again. Goes back to Ansell. Trapped it well. Flint. Fawaz Carter. Just skipping past Murray. Lovely ball. Oliphant on the turn. And he puts it over the crossbar and also wide. And he scored the opening goal for South Africa in their match against Germany. Caleb Oliphant. Apparently was a very strong water polo and swimmer in his days at Bishop's School, as well as hockey. Adamson again. Brought under control that time by Nathan Zinner. Good pass from him. Cooper Burns feeds it forward. Adamson again, and trying to turn inside the circle. It's the Australian player penalised though. Shoulders droop a little bit there that time from Dermot Chappell. Umpire deeming that he brought his stick over the head, which created danger. Carter. Oh, I have to say, I thought that looked like a foot as well. Carter stopped and was almost ready to take the free hit as the ball comes wide now to Murray. First time to Burns. Those two have a good understanding, having played club hockey together in Melbourne. Cooper Burns into the circle. Did he find the foot? No, not quite. Both played for the Altona Hockey Club, I believe. Or no, actually they played for Victoria Vikings. They did. Altona Club is Cooper Burns and then Craig Murray. Great chance for Australia off the pads though. Verissimo doing well, preventing Adamson from scoring. And Craig Murray, of course, played for Southern United. Cooper Burns laid back and carried out of the defence this time by Neertling. Closed down well by Nathan Zinner. Forced him to play the ball backwards. Thrown to the air. That should be easy meat and drink for Angus Adamson, and it was. It's now with Burns again. Taylor. Two Adamsons. Angus Adamson plays in the defensive line. Hamish a little bit further forward. Be nice if they, as twins, wore just slightly different shoes to make it a little bit easier sometimes to pick up who's who. And that's thrown long, brought down well, but slipping. Well, South Africa feeling that that was harsh. But it is a penalty corner given for the player coming into the 5 metres before the ball was controlled and brought down from the sky. Well, it wasn't brought down under control. And I think that's where South Africa sort of feel a little bit hard done by. The player. Didn't appear to be moving into the space, from my opinion. Dan Newhoff, though, is the player penalised, and it's a penalty corner. And Cam Geddes lines up at the top of the circle, and alongside him is Dermot Chappell. Chappell at the second battery, Geddes at the first. Comes to Geddes, and it's wide of the mark. Was not the greatest injection or trap. Neertling does well to win the free hit for his team, because it wasn't the greatest ball out of defence. Good break forward, good run coming this time from Breitenbach. Tackle was a good one from Geddes. Talking to a lot of the coaches, South Africa may not have won a game here, but certainly all the coaches have said they are a hard team to break down these days, not easy. And Australia taking too long with the free hit. South Africa play on, almost slipping, and then they're penalised for shielding the ball with the stick. Cooper Burns brings it down, gets it under control, spins away from the advance of Jamie Seal. Cooper Burns looking to try and get on, and just holding his position there, Newhoff. And the umpire just saying, Newhoff, you need to move away. It's pretty hard if you've just stopped and then the player just runs straight into you. Australia ball again. Nathan Zinner. Little flick out wide to Dylan Downey. Downey got past one, couldn't get past the second. And now Mbata. Mbata keeps it for South Africa, had to play it back. Good work on the ball that time from Jamie Seal. Loses out to Henderson though. Infield he goes to Zinner. A little bit of space now to move the ball Max Friedman it was. He went back to Roberts Campello. Zinner goes back again into the defensive line to Dylan Downey. Campbell Geddes. Carter. Good play by him. Fawaz Carter is really an accomplished player and always a joy to watch, I have to say. Hails from the Northern Cape. Started playing hockey at the age of 9. Just having to stretch for that one was Neertling, but it's intercepted again by Geddes. Friedman goes into Zinner. Geddes again. Roberts Campello gets a little bit of acceleration into the circle. He goes, tries to pull it back, trying to turn the defense. Well, that was in the end very good defense by South Africa. But Cooper Burns got goal side. It'll go off his stick over the sideline. Jamie Seal, I think it was, who was doing the good defending for South Africa in combination with Liam Ansell. Just under 5 minutes left now in the first quarter. Still 0-0. And to be fair, neither goalkeeper really has been called into action. Carter. You can see what he was aiming that for, and that's ricocheted up into the South African player, but off the Australian stick. Comes wide to Liam Ansell now. Nice turn in the midfield from Josh de Klerk. Oh, and running in from the left-hand side, looking to try and get a touch for South Africa, but just not quite able to get there. It's good work again from David Tashebi, who I was told, we saw him fall yesterday, David Tashebi, and apparently it was his shoulder that popped out, but he's done it before, so they've popped it back in and he's out there playing again today. So I think you call that a subluxation, where it goes out and goes back in. But it certainly didn't look that nice yesterday. But they build them tough in South Africa. Comes wide again to Josh de Klerk. Back to Ansell. Carter. To Ansell again. Australia just shifting, keeping their shape well. Brought down from the sky that time by Angus Adamson, but I think it just caught him. So South Africa trying to get inside the circle. And Montgomery now obstructing. The 2.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Australia over the ball. Downey. And it just caught the foot then as he was coming into play of Lachlan Rogers. Carter. Back to Flynn, to the ball just bobbles again. It's one of those ones we've seen several times during this tournament. Not all of these are bad skill from these talented players. Dylan Downey. Geddes again. Throws it high, and the South African player, Flint, well, I have to say, I think that's a bit harsh. Flint was underneath the ball. when it came to him, the Australian behind him. It wasn't like he moved back into that space to receive it. He was standing there. But anyway, it is a penalty corner to Australia. Second penalty corner for the Australians, and they need to get down to the baseline quickly. Henderson grabs the ball. Cooper Burns lines up at the top of the circle. He's at the first battery. Alongside him is Dylan Downey. Downey, who scored an absolute ripper yesterday. Comes to Downey again. The pace is good. Cleared by South Africa. De Klerk will collect. Feeds it forward now wide to Jay. And Jay, a good pass from him in turn. And that's, I thought, found the foot inside the circle, but lovely skills and a nice turn. And Oliphant dispossessed. Brayton Buck will be disappointed because he did good work to get inside the circle. Now it's carried forward again by Chappell. Dermot Chappell. Two South Africans to beat, tries to go between them, gets the free hit. A shout of no from the South African bench I could hear. Henderson now. Again, a lovely little shimmy of the hips from Henderson. Free hit to him just outside the circle. We're into the final minute of the first quarter. Ball played back to Adamson. Back to Henderson. First time into the circle. Lovely turn. Laid back. Should be a goal. Burns buries it after a brilliant pass by Will Matheson. Great awareness by Australia. Well, Adamson to Henderson to Matheson to Burns. And Cooper Burns makes it 1-0 to Australia. A really well-crafted goal by the Australian team. And that's the perfect time to score with just 43 seconds left till the break. And South Africa, well, they'll be frustrated having allowed that goal to happen. Cooper Burns with his second goal of the tournament. Plenty of space for him to turn into now, and that's what he likes, to run at defenders. Played wide again, it's Matheson. Matheson to the baseline, tries to pull it back. Desperate defending that time from Damien Knott. Long corner for Australia. The ball comes out now to Lachlan Rogers. He takes it quickly. Comes all the way back to Taylor. Taylor to Geddes. Oliphant will close down. Henderson trying to get away from de Klerk. Does so. Plays it into the circle, but played it into the turf and lifted it dangerously. And that will be the final play of the first quarter. But it's been steady from both sides, but it is Australia who stole the lead when Cooper Burns scoring in the last minute. So it's Australia 1, South Africa 0. Well, the Australian team down below us in their huddle. In the change strip, normally from the green and gold. They were playing in a dark blue strip as well for a while, but this is a sort of almost, dare I say, New Zealand teal colour. South Africa to get the second quarter underway. Ball played back that time by Neethling, all the way to Flint to Carter. Just the 1 goal difference at the moment. And remember, of course, if Australia want to top the pool, they need to win by 3 or more. Well, 3 would put them level with Germany. And then it would go to goals scored. Germany would edge them out there. So they really need to get 4. South Africa into the circle again. It's across the face of goal. It's not being cleared. Back post. Oliphant appeals for a penalty corner. Well, again, it was good work. Jamie Seal playing it to the back post. And you'd have to say those are the chances you have to take in games like this. South Africa creating well, but not finishing. And now a lively run again from Lachlan Rogers. Rogers feeds it forward, makes a run forward. Cutting infield was Chappell, but he lost out. And then down the line it goes from South Africa and over the sideline. Cam Geddes with the ball for Australia from the side. Nathan Zinner demanding it, receiving it, and feeding to Taylor. Back to Geddes. Rogers to Zinner, to Taylor again. Out wide it goes. Now Roberts, Campello plays it back again. Geddes, a mistrap from him. Angus Adamson. Good ball forward again. Matheson, lively. Good block that time coming in from Knott. South Africa have the ball. Ansell needed a hurry as Burns was coming to him. Le Forestier now will look to cut infield and run. He slips the pass. It's a good pass into the path of Neethling. Neethling back to Le Forestier. And a great return tackle coming from Max Friedman. Cooper Burns now turns on halfway. Thought about slipping the pass back to Rogers, but then decided to go on himself. Now Roberts Campello goes back into the defensive line again. Now it's Nathan Zinner. Rogers to Zinner again. Taylor. And Adamson had to stretch for that. And then Jamie Seal was impeded by Adamson as he lost the ball. So free hit to South Africa. Jamie Seal has impressed me with the games he's played here this time. He's created stuff, he's got back defensively. Aerial pass brought down into the circle. Caleb Oliphant. And he's penalised for shielding the ball. That's 2 or 3 times now, and there was a big no as the umpire told him what he'd done. But it was good work again by Mutalani, wide on the left-hand side for South Africa. Cooper Burns now. Taken away. Mutalani. Oh, a lovely sway of the hips from him. And that's a good ball forward now to Mbata. Mbata faced with Downey. Goes infield, great defence coming back again from Nye Roberts Campello. Feeds it forward now to Cooper Burns. Burns crossfield to Henderson. Henderson slips it back and it's going to be stolen again. Murray slipping up there. Tabang Jay playing it off the foot of Murray. Must be strange for Craig Murray to be playing against South Africa, country where he was born. And then his family migrating to Australia. Le Forestier just taken away from him. Good work again, Nathan Zinner drawing the foul from Knott. In fact, I think it was, yeah. I think it was, foul was actually from de Klerk. Long corner. Good work again along the baseline for Australia from Hamish Adamson. Taken quickly that time by Nathan Zinnett. Will Matheson rather, winning the free hit again for Australia inside the 23. Henderson just checking where it's got to be taken from. Misdirected pass by him, that's rare. Le Forestier now. Umbata wanted it forward. Le Forestier slips on halfway. Turnover to Australia. Matheson goes square to Nye Roberts-Campello. Good lead again coming from Murray. Roberts-Campello. Infield he goes. Henderson to Zinner. Good pass again. And Matheson this time. Flint having a talking to and just nodding to the umpire in obviously agreement in that he understands what is being discussed. Almost 6 minutes gone in the second quarter. South Africa still in this at 1-0. Nice bit of work by Viwe Mbata. Ansel, oh, he had to stretch and it just came up off his stick and over the side. So Taylor now for Australia from the sideline. Michael Taylor comes from the Central Coast, which is just up the coast in New South Wales from Sydney. Plays for the Gosford Magpies, or he did. Interesting story about Michael Taylor. I'll share that with you maybe later in the tournament. He's on the ball now. Good turn from him. Goes back to Geddes. His journey into hockey a little bit different to most people's. Henderson. That's a good pass. Henderson again inside the... Oh, just past the post. Great interplay between Henderson and Rogers. And they're beginning to click in the midfield for Australia. And I'm sure that if they do click, it's going to give the selectors a little bit of a headache leading into the World Cup, which is just a month away. Lachlan Rogers again, a Tasmanian, and they've been producing some pretty handy players in recent times. Plays for the Canterbury Hockey Club there. Pretty sure that's the same club, I think, that Sam McCulloch, who graced the Sultan of Johor Cup a few years ago, played for. Also from Tasmania, Liam Ansell. That was unlucky. It was a good ball forward. Tashebi making a good run. Just caught his foot, though. Dylan Downey now. Taylor helps it forward. Now Roberts-Campello. It goes off the stick of Mutulani. Great run in from the flank. I'm sure that's Murray. Oh, what a finish. That is absolutely brilliant. Great run along the baseline and a superb finish. Australia go 2-0 up. It's Murray along the baseline. And then a magnificent finish from Will Matheson to make it 2-0. Threw himself at the ball, really, Matheson. And again, South Africa will no doubt be a little bit disappointed. But I'm sure the coaching staff of Australia will be very happy at the way they've created those two goals. Will Matheson went to the Marymount College in Queensland, and I'm sure all his fellow students will be celebrating that goal. I'm sure he will be thinking about it a fair while too. Nice turn again in the midfield from Liam Henderson. Great lead as well, that time from Hamish Adamson. Long corner won by him. Henderson over the ball again, just pushes it wide to Nye Roberts-Campello. Roberts-Campello weaving his way towards the circle, but in the end penalised. 6 minutes till half-time. Australia 2 goals to the good. Well, Will Matheson's clearly got some supporters here because there was a real cheer for that when that was announced. Damien Knott goes back to Ansell again. Carter. Ansell once more. Not once more, just caught his foot, but the Australian player deemed too far away. That is Adamson again. Carter goes back to Ansell once more. Not being closed down again by Hamish Adamson. Good little run infield from Damien Knott. Oh. Well, the ball has been in the circle for South Africa in an attacking way, but Larkin hasn't as yet really been called into action. Brought down well by Matheson. Fed forward to Zinner. Zinner fires it across the face of goal and touched in by Cooper Burns, but I think it caught the body before he managed to get it into the goal. And that one again, just as South Africa playing a little bit too quickly out of defence, not making the passes count. And here come Australia again. Max Friedman. And he feeds it into the circle. Good defence again from South Africa, in particular Damien Knott. And now we see Le Forestier again, looking to take on Downey. Drops the pass back into Jamie Seal. Seal goes infield, but it was a mistrap, unfortunately, for South Africa from de Klerk. So Matheson now. Short pass that time coming from Rogers. Friedman. So green card issued to South Africa for a stick tackle. So they'll play it down for the next 2 minutes. Ansell will come back to Knott again. Talani into the midfield. That will be a South Africa free hit, taken quickly by Nieuwhof. Played out to the left-hand side. Seal. It's, I think, in fact, Breitenbach into the circle. Caleb Oliphant, saved by Larkin. Well, I thought that went into the defender, I must say, but I think that's what one of the South African players was complaining about as well. Coming back was Mtalani. And it was de Klerk, I think, who was right in front of goal as Larkin made that save, and he would have been the closest to see if it did touch the defender. Good save by Larkin, but it just raised a question from the South African players. Stolen away well by Damien Knott. And again, I'm not quite sure what he was trying to do there, because Oliphant was never going to get on the end of that one, and Le Forestier was outside the circle, just ahead of him, waiting for a short pass and maybe a give and go. Nathan Zinner. Roberts Campello. Australia slowing things down now with just under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Taylor and Geddes happy to play between themselves. Fed forward to Henderson, a lovely pass by him, and then Roberts Campello gets the pass from Zinner and wins a free hit just outside the circle. In fact, no, it's gone the other way. So we saw one umpire giving it a free hit to Australia, and then the German umpire changing that, saying that it caught the defender too high. Well, again, there again is the overhead pass throwing the world into a little bit of confusion. Geddes. Little flick of the wrist from him. And Henderson penalised. Flint was standing there. Carter, will they just run the clock down? Stolen by Cooper Burns. He'll go on the attack, no doubt about that. Feeds it infield to Zinner. Good defensive play coming back for South Africa. Newhoff, though, penalised, although Australia don't seem in that big a hurry. They are now, though, slipping. Carter, and that will be the final play of the first half. So Australia opening the scoring in the first quarter, right in the last minute after good play between Adamson, Henderson, Matheson before Cooper Burns finished it off. And then it was Matheson who scored a great goal himself in that second quarter after good work by Craig Murray along the baseline. And that means going in at half-time, it's South Africa 0, Australia 2. Welcome back to the Tamandaya Hockey Stadium. South African players are down below, just milling around. The Australian players still listening to their coaching staff. And they've got quite a bit of experience there in Jay Stacey, Matthew Wells and Mark Knowles. South Africa marching out now for the start of that second half. And you'd think this game, if you looked at the FIH Junior World Rankings, that it would be a much closer match. South Africa ranked 10th in the new World Rankings, Australia 9th, but again, some of that is due to the fact that it's based on the Continental Federation's qualifiers and your World Cup placings last time. And of course, some of the Continental Federations didn't have tournaments because of the COVID pandemic, and so then it was based on previous tournaments. So Australia, I think, would have expected to be a little bit higher up if they could. Well, Mark Knowles has just been hitting balls at the goalkeepers and just giving Hunter Banyard some advice there. Hunter Banyard, the backup keeper for Australia. Just wonder whether it looks like he will be starting the second half. Indeed, he will be. Well, Hunter Banyard, he's a great striker as well. Has been playing as a striker for Old Guildford Mundaring, but he comes from the Peel region, south of Perth, in the city of Mandurah. And then to get games, because he's had so much talent, he's been playing for, he's had a spell with Reds, he had a spell with YMCC, he's now with Old Guildford Mundaring. And they signed Johan Durst last year, so again he had to play understudy to the Australian Kookaburra's goalkeeper, and so played up front. But interesting character, very committed to his club and the cause, and it's great to see him being given this opportunity now. He was actually the West Australian Goalkeeper of the Year as well this year, so just needs that chance to get regular games under his belt. Just a reminder, the situation at the moment, Australia leading by 2-0. They will finish second in their pool, which is Pool A, if this result is the final score, or rather if this score is the final result. They need to score 2 goals more to eclipse Germany and finish top of the pool, and that will then determine whether they play India or Pakistan. We don't know at the moment because India is top of the pool. Pakistan and Malaysia is the next game. And so if Pakistan win by a certain margin, then they may well go above India. And so whoever comes second in this pool would play the top of Pool A. And if Australia's top, they'll play the team that comes second in Pool B. Good work again being done by Craig Murray. Henderson back to Murray. There's numbers in the circle for Australia. That's good defence as well by Montgomery. Henderson gets it back for Australia. Good skills by Henderson across the face of goal, and deflecting that towards goal was Murray. And have to say that that was a good save by Verissimo. It's a long corner, taken quickly. Comes wide now to Geddes, but underneath his stick it went. James Flint now feeds it forward to Breitenbach. Flint again. Liam Ansell now for South Africa. And South Africa have kept that in play. There was a slip from the Australian player. Delani trying to find a way into the circle. In the end has to recycle it back to Ansell. Flint now. Down the side it goes to Breitenbach again. Beats one. And another free hit for South Africa just outside the circle. Of course, if they score, Breitenbach definitely went 5 there. In he goes, and was he impeded? Yes, he was. Penalty corner to South Africa, their first of the match. And this may be a moment where they can pinch a goal. Well, James Flint is on the field of play. He is supposedly a phenomenal flicker. We haven't really seen him in that they've won penalty corners when he's not been on the field of play in their previous games. Montgomery will be lined up at the second battery. Flint at the first, Ansell to inject. Just to give you some idea, South Africa had 3 tests against Namibia and Flint scored 7 goals in those 3 games. Slight shift, it goes to Montgomery. Good block by the first runner, and well, appeals for another penalty corner from South Africa, and eventually the umpires, I think, conferred via their earpieces, and a penalty corner awarded to South Africa. So Flint lines up again. Will they go with him this time, or will they stick with Montgomery? They go to Montgomery again. This time he flicks, he's off target. Although it is another penalty corner, so it must have been off the shins of the first runner. Will it be third time lucky for the South Africans? And it looks like Flint is lining up this time. He's just measured his run out. It is. Carter stops, but it's not a good stop. It just bobbled. Now it goes to Flint. Flint spins, shoots. Good defence by Australia. And over the baseline, or over the sideline it goes. Anyway, it's over the baseline. It's a long corner. Breitenbach again. Henderson, it came up off his stick, and over the side it goes off Murray. It'll be another long corner again. Once more we see players frustrated because the ball isn't coming to them quickly. First time, that's a little bit narrow, but it's Banyard who clears it back out to South Africa's player. Breitenbach again. Stolen this time by Cooper Burns. Burns denied the chance to go forward. Good tackle again by Fawaz Carter. Matalani got a touch, but it's going to be in the midfield now for Rogers. Slipped the pass. Thrown wide now to Nathan Zinner, will bring it down. Carter backed off wisely. Matheson. And in unison, the South African bench went up. And the German umpire just telling Australia to calm things down. So Flint again. Oh dear, didn't get that. Neither did Matheson though. So Flint very lucky. He's going to get a free hit. Matheson just missing that one. Carter. Flint again, but that's going to be a turnover. Clever by Murray. Murray leaves it for Zinner. Zinner thought about playing the pass out wide to Rogers, who'd made a good run. Free hit, Zinner takes it this time. Goes back to Dylan Downey. Used to be an advertising campaign. DD works wonders. Oh, Dylan Downey, maybe need to get some t-shirts made with that on it if he gets selected for the World Cup. South Africa, Carter stays calm, goes to Ansell. Up the side it goes, and that's kept in play in the end by Mbata. Finds LaForester. LaForester spins again. Tries to get inside the circle. He gets there now. Reverse stick into Nye Roberts-Campello. Forrester, I think, was feeling that he'd got the foot, but it looked as if he caught Campello in the ribs, or Roberts-Campello. Zinner again, finding plenty of space tonight and getting plenty of touches. Here he is again. Cooper Burns will collect that with ease. A nice little pirouette from him. Really well-timed tackle, though, coming in from Josh de Klerk. Josh de Klerk, who played with the Boland Club in Cape Town, or near Cape Town. Burns plays on quickly into the circle. Burns along the baseline, pulls it back. That was an important touch from South Africa in the circle. Danger though now. Zinner comes looking for a foot, didn't manage to get it. So South Africa can breathe easy again. That touch though inside the circle, very important. It came from Hans Neertling. Another good pass. Off the pads of Banyard and straight to Dylan Downey. And Downey clears it, but it will be South Africa's ball again. Jamie Seal comes to Damien Knott. On the overlap is Carter. Carter helps it down the line. Seal. Seal gets the free hit, drives towards the circle, penalty corner. Coming in to make the tackle. So fourth penalty corner now for South Africa. First three all being retakes. Coming on with the instructions. Fawaz Carter. Liam Ansell makes his way to the baseline again. James Flint. Oh. Can James Flint live up to his name? Can he spark a revival for South Africa by scoring now? At the second battery is Damien Knott. Carter to stop for Flint. It goes to Knott rather. Well, he stopped thinking it should have been another penalty corner. It's with South Africa again, squared at the top of the circle, but taken away. Good defensive play by Nathan Zinner. Plays it to Cooper Burns and free inside the circle. Good save coming out of his goal by Verissimo. And South Africa go on the attack again. Australia, though, got numbers back very quickly. Ball falls kindly for Neertling. Neertling into the, across the face of goal. And it was very nearly a good touch in the centre, but just couldn't get the connection that he was looking for. Was Mbata diving in, and I'm sure that Hunter Banyard will be a little bit relieved. Zinner goes back to Geddes again. Henderson lets that one run, and great awareness by Liam Henderson. Hamish Adamson's pass into the circle, cut out by South Africa. Over the side, that'll go. Free hit to Australia. Taylor. Murray brings that one down with ease. Matheson. Well, try to knock it past Flint and go past Flint, but Flint just stood his ground, penalised for it. Matheson again, Flint once more, stands his ground. Henderson. Comes back to Zinner. Henderson was in a good position, but that was closed down by Oliphant. Downey to Geddes, back to Downey again. Taylor helps it down the sideline. It was a good lead again coming from Chappell. Chappell gets the ball back. Chappell feeds it wide. Good deflection from Liam Ansell. Craig Murray with the shot. But Liam Ansell getting an important touch and taking it out over the baseline. Dylan Downey again. Taylor. Taylor back to Downey. Geddes tries to feed it forward. It's a good pass to pick out Murray. Murray slips as he goes in the circle, regathers his footing well. Murray got past one, tries to get past the second. In the end, it's a penalty corner for Australia, their third of the match. So Australia, having had no penalty corners in their first game, got 1 from 3 in the game against Germany, and this is their third. And they've at the moment got 0 from 2 in this game. So making his way to the baseline will be Henderson again. And Dylan Downey stretching the arms. I think Geddes is alongside him. Geddes at the first battery. Dylan Downey at the second. And there is another goal for Dylan Downey. He makes absolutely no mistake. And Dylan Downey gets his second. And that was again a wonderful finish. Really strong penalty corner flick from Dylan Downey. Man from New South Wales. And Australia improved their penalty corner conversions. So that is 3 goals, and that now puts Australia level with Germany on goal difference. So as if they were level on goal difference, it then goes to goals scored, and Australia at the moment have they scored 3 against Great Britain, and then 2 against Germany's 5, and then 3 today is 8. Whereas Germany scored 6 and 2 against Australia, 6 against South Africa, 2 against Australia, and they scored another 4 today. So they've got 13 goals. So Australia really does need to get another goal today if they want to top the pool. If they're not too worried, this will be fine. But it's safe to say Australia are through to the semi-finals, along with Germany from Pool A. South Africa, well, they're going to have to join Great Britain in the playoffs for 5th to 8th. Lovely pass and turn from Cooper Burns this time. Oh, he's got a little bit of space away from Flint onto the forehand. Tries to fire it across. Henderson was there, tightly marked by Ansell. And Henderson, I think, a few words to say with Ansell, although In fact, it might have been Newhoff, not Ansel. It was indeed Newhoff. My apologies. Good work by Dan Newhoff then. Dan Newhoff, who in 2022, when Western Province under-18s won gold in the Interprovincial Trophy, he was voted most valuable midfielder. Breaks for him then, and he's won it back. Good work. Breitenbach trying to get the better of Nye Roberts Campello. He's got into the circle. Breitenbach along the baseline. Breitenbach into Hunter Banyard and then lifted it over the top. That's going to go out. No, it's not. Kept in play well by South Africa. Again into the circle. Banyard clears this time. Long corner. 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Australia cruising at the moment. Tabang Jay wins another long corner and claiming that there was a little bit of a push from Adamson on him. Goes back to Flint. Flint goes to the air. That's going to be brought down by Ulifon. It's came a long way away from his body. He's done well. Again, it goes across the face of goal, but he lifted it on the reverse stick. Just needs to get a little bit lower, Caleb Ulifon. Because at the moment, if you don't get low on the reverse stick, it tends to go high. Taylor comes wide to Geddes. Infield, good pass. Ulifon desperately diving. Newhoff. And Ulifon is given a card for diving in. Question is, you're not allowed to dive into a tackle if it creates danger. And the question was, did he create danger there? Let you as the viewers decide that one. Of course, you're not meant to go to ground in a tackle. So Breitenbach will leave that one in the end for naught. Montgomery takes it and goes infield. Sharp pass from him. Found Jamie Seal. Good pass into the circle. Brilliant defence, though, by Downey. Matheson, a little touch from him. Managed to get it to Rogers. Stolen away. Matalani feeding it wide. Waiting for the support. Was looking for Matalani, and he certainly got a push that time. Little push in the back from Adamson. Don't think he would have got to the pass anyway, to be honest. Comes wide from Taylor. Down the line to Henderson. Henderson advances on Carter, cuts infield, then changes back direction to go on the outside. Was stolen momentarily by South Africa. Good work again by Newhoff. South Africa are not going to get a chance to attack again. Murray belts it forward, but that will be the final play of this quarter, as there goes the hooter. Well, Australia have kept marching on. They scored one in the first quarter, one in the second, and Dylan Downey converting a penalty corner meant they got one in the third quarter. The final score at the final break is South Africa 0, Australia 3. Australian players surrounding Jay Stacey down below. About to make their way out for the final 15 minutes. South Africa, you just wonder, can they find a consolation in this match? They've managed to score in every game so far, so if Australia keep them at bay, it will be a first. But at the moment, they've not really been able to find a way past Max Larkin or Hunter Banyard. Banyard with a couple of saves in that third quarter. And once again, we've not got a ball to start the final quarter. Now this is ridiculous, I have to say. And the whistle has already gone, so Cooper Burns now plays it back. Well, how does that happen? Nathan Zinner. No, Roberts Campello. Well, Australia have really, and I hate to say it, just kind of played at a completely different pace tonight to the match they played last night against Germany. Now, whether that was always the plan, just to conserve energy, get the victory, do the basics, and you'd have to say they've done it pretty well. I get the feeling that they don't actually mind where they come first or second in the pool. I just lost defensively there by Australia. It was Angus Adamson who was, I think, trying to claim it hadn't gone out of play, and Talani just slipping there, got back to his feet. Nathan Zinner was ready to pounce. Damien Knott now. First time by Montgomery. Good defence though from Australia. And Taylor. Taylor gets the free hit. Good position taken up there in the midfield by Max Friedman, but pass was a little bit off. Carter to Knott. Back to Carter again. And then up the side it goes, but Ansell. And it's a good lead again in the forward line. Talani, lovely pass by him, but unfortunately not the touch that Montgomery was looking for. Good run though by Montgomery. Ross Montgomery went to Clifton School, as did his brother, who currently plays professional cricket in England for Nottinghamshire. And he's actually listed as being German rather than South African if you go to the Nottinghamshire website. So the family apparently of German descent. Well, the Aussies might know as well that it's a free hit. I'll share that story with you in a minute. It's free hit to Australia. Over the ball, Max Friedman. Downey. And Downey having to stretch there. That was not the kindest of passes from Campbell Geddes. Adamson down the line. Roberts Campello, there was nowhere to go for him. Comes back to Downey again. In fact, it wasn't Roberts Campello. My apologies, I think it was Friedman on the far side. Geddes again. Downey, good work by South Africa. They're forcing them back. Now it's Roberts Campello who cuts in away from Breitenbach. Gives the ball out, this time to Rogers. Rogers into the circle. And Rogers penalised. And again, the coaching staff down below from Australia, raising their arms in the air in frustration. Well, I was just going to say about Ross Montgomery's brother. Was, of course, a German who replaced Sir Donald Bradman when he was dropped from the Australian team. The only time he was. Otto Nothling was the player that replaced him. So there's a claim to fame for German cricket. Downey. 10 minutes to go. Adamson feeds it into Henderson again. Plenty of running still in his legs. Comes wide, this time to Murray. Murray goes back to Roberts Campello, who plays it all the way across the field of play to Adamson. Downey. Zinner. Geddes. Downey throws it to the air. Brought down this time and carried in by Henderson. Zinner now pokes it into Cooper Burns. Burns turns and wins the penalty corner for Australia, their fourth. Well, this may be the moment where they claim their goal a quarter. Downey comes running on with the instructions from the bench, and I'm sure it'll be, just give us another one, Dylan. Oh no, he wanted to stay up there, but he's been told to go back to defensive duties. So it's Campbell Geddes at the first battery, Cooper Burns at the second, and poor old Dylan Downey relegated to defensive duties. Comes to Cooper Burns. Burns flicks and gets it past the keeper, and that is the fourth goal for Australia. And Burns adds another goal to his tally. That's his second of the match. So Cooper Burns continues to keep scoring for Australia, and Australia have their fourth, and that should lift them top of the ladder. Burns got one in the game against Germany. So that is his third goal. I'm just trying to remember whether he got one in the opening game on the first day against Great Britain. No, he didn't. It was Brodie Foster and Dermot Chappell. So Burns, I was thinking he'd scored in every game. Scored in the last two, has a double today. Taylor now comes to Downey. Goes back to Taylor. Zinner. That's a good pass to pick out Murray. Knott gives chase. Murray just accelerates away. Knott did well to get a little bit of a stick on that, and Carter cleans up at the back for South Africa. Forced backwards though. Carter. Well, there were three players around him at one point, then two, and then South Africa just played over this sideline. I think it was taken from too far forward. That's why we've had it called back. Murray takes it down to the corner, was looking for someone to drop in behind him, falls over, carried out by South Africa, flicked over the top but out of play. Oliphant making the run, and disappointment there from South Africa, and in particular Thabang Jay, who was a good idea from him, just didn't quite happen the way he wanted it to. 7.5 minutes left, halfway through the final quarter. Oliphant got a touch on that one, so if it goes out, which it does, it'll be Australia's ball. Strong challenge again from Carter going into Matheson. Matheson takes the ball from the side, finds Henderson, comes wide now to Dylan Downey. Downey fires it to the edge of the circle, taken away from Chappell. It was a good strong tackle coming in from Hans Neertling. Dermot Chappell is there. Oh, he's stolen it, but he couldn't keep it in play. That was unlucky for Chappell. Dermot Chappell, who comes from Maryborough, famous for also producing the Australian player Mark Hagar. Roberts Campello just helps it down the line, and again helped further down the line by Australia. Now it's with Murray, Craig Murray, and a good overlapping run. Adamson now into the circle. Oh, well, it would have been a wonderful goal. Sliding in was Chappell trying to get the touch. Flint. Ansel. Carter. Carter once again, nowhere to go. Not a lot of movement from South Africa further forward or even in the midfield. There's players in space, but not a lot of options. You feel that if you play it, there's going to be a man closing down from Australia. Well, South Africa are a bit stunned by that decision in that they had the ball and were running with the ball, and the Australian came in and made the challenge, and the umpires said that it was actually South Africa with a swinging stick. So that's why they're confused. Well, South Africa are pulling their goalkeeper, or they're changing the goalkeeper. Yep, they're changing it. So Verissimo will come off, and Devon van Niekerk comes on. He was the Hockey Player of the Year at the University of the Free State this year. It's been limited time for him in this tournament as Verissimo's been in such great form. Geddes down the line. Geddes again from the sideline, goes back to Taylor. Henderson, well, he was almost engulfed, I was going to say, by Hans Neertling, who's a much bigger man than Henderson. Downey. Adamson looking to try and feed it forward to his brother Hamish. South Africa have it again. Great coming across from Henderson. Well, he's everywhere, Liam Henderson. And now he's going for a rest. Oh, he's going for a rest because he got a card. I missed the card coming out from the umpire. Neertling had to go back in the end. It's Flint now. Cut out this time. Good reach with the stick from Hamish Adamson. He's closed down very quickly, but he's going to get the pass to Cooper Burns, bursting through the middle. Really good run coming. Cooper Burns, though, plays it back. It was Max Freeman who made the run through the middle. Goes wide again for Australia. I think that's Rogers, dispossessed. And the free hit, though, goes against South Africa, and they complain again about the decision. Well, there could be no doubt there. And again, they thought they had the free hit, and it's gone against them. Well, David Tushebi dropping his shoulders then. So too was Hans Neertling. Murray. Nice movement by Australia, and again it was Rogers driving down that left-hand side, feeding the ball then to Adamson. South Africa with Neethling again. Oh dear me, just pushed into space and turned over. They fortunate to get it back, South Africa. Jamie Seal plays it out wide onto the right-hand side. Trying to find a way forward, and it's off the foot of the Australian player. We're into the final 2.5 minutes. Good run forward from Mbata, who's just come on. Damien Knott. James Flint. Fawaz Carter. Oh, slip at the vital stage. Free hit taken. Oh. Well, as a card has been issued as well. But Jamie Seal, I think, is going to have to sit on the side now. And I have to just say I don't understand what happened there. But anyway. Australia certainly are assured of the victory. And if my mathematics is anything to go by, and seriously, if you knew me, you wouldn't trust my mathematics, but I believe Australia will now, because of this 4-0, unless South Africa score now. Great tackle by Adamson. Finds Cooper Burns. Good tackle again by Carter to take it off Burns. And then he turns Burns and accelerates down the side, tries to just knock the ball past Matheson, does well. Fawaz Carter. Carter's kept his run going. Free hit to South Africa, wide on the right. Into the circle they go, pushed forward. Nobody there, though, for the men in green. So 4-0 should be enough to see Australia top Pool A, which will mean Germany will finish second in the pool, Great Britain third, and South Africa fourth. And a miscommunication there as Angus Adamson plays it over the side. South Africa still looking for that consolation goal. It was lifted into Mutalani then. Henderson wins the free hit for Australia. We've got 28 seconds remaining. No real hurry. Geddes throws it long. Flint brings it under control. He may return the compliment and throw it back. He will indeed, but not as far. Neethling, surrounded by white shirts, and pings it into the circle. But good defensive play coming from Angus Adamson. And that is the end of the match. And Australia keep a second clean sheet. And they managed to get enough goals to top their pool, if my mathematics are correct. It was a goal a quarter. The first quarter, it was Cooper Burns who was set up after good interplay between Adamson, Henderson and Matheson. And then it was Matheson who benefited from a great run along the baseline from Craig Murray. Dylan Downing converted a penalty corner, and then to round out the scoring in the final quarter, Cooper Burns added his second from a penalty corner. The final score, South Africa 0, Australia 4.